Good morning, everybody. Happy, what day is it today? I think it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's Amy Bennett with the AM Show. I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. It's a beautiful day today. Blue skies. Last night was pretty low-key. We talked about that yesterday. It was going to be low-key. Excuse me. Emma and Lexi actually went with a couple friends from church who are a little bit older than them. So this was the first time that friends came and picked up the girls from the house and went to the mall together. It's the first time like a mom or a dad was not involved. So that was really weird for me. I'm like, you're taking the kids. Please be safe. They had an absolute blast. And yeah, that was fun. Anyway, we've got a couple kids that stayed over last night, so got a couple kids in there sleeping. Anyway, so I think tonight's going to be another low-key night. Maybe we'll get to bowling. No, we probably won't get to bowling tonight. I don't know what. Somebody's coming to clean my house this afternoon, which is always a good day. Cleaning day is a good day. Problem is you have to clean before they clean, right? You have to go straight. That was what I was doing last night, was straightening up for the cleaning ladies. Anyway, I'm not complaining about that. I'm so thankful for my cleaning ladies. It's one of my favorite days. But today, I want to talk to some people who feel like they're in the weeds. Do you feel like you're in the weeds? And what I mean by that is when you're in the weeds, and this is how I'm seeing it, is that like you're in a season of life where you're like down in the details of what's going on in your life. For me, I am in the weeds of parenting 3 basically teenagers. Jacob will be 13 in September. So I am way, way, way down in the weeds of parenting teenagers. And it is a lot of feeling like you're down in the weeds. I feel like I'm trying to make so many decisions, making sure they're getting to where they need to go. They all at the moment have special dietary needs, and making sure I'm buying the right food and fixing the right food, and that they're eating making sure, did you eat lunch? Did you eat breakfast? Like checking up on them. It's still like, you think when your kids are like babies, it's great when you don't have to actually feed them, but then you have to actually still monitor like what they're eating and making sure they're actually eating. There's been a couple times this summer Jacob just didn't eat lunch because I didn't check up on him. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock. I'm like, Jacob, did you ever eat lunch? Nope. Anyway, down in the weeds of parenting. I feel like I'm down in the weeds of this whole health thing I'm going through. Just making sure I'm taking all the supplements I need to, making sure that I am getting the exercise I'm supposed to get, making sure that the food that I'm eating is the proper food that I need, like just down in the weeds. Some of you might have a business where you are down in the weeds. It's all about your customers and figuring out who your customers are and getting more customers and making decisions and buying things, and you're down in the weeds of your business. Now, some of you may not be down in the weeds. You are enjoying the harvest of the seasons that you were down in the weeds. But I'm going to speak to some people who feel like they're down in the weeds. Darian says, I get it. She has a 14-year-old that she's responsible for, and it's stressful. Yeah. So I just feel like I'm down in the weeds with a lot of stuff. And I was praying about this morning, and I felt like I got some encouragement from the Lord, and I just want to pass it on to you. And so I feel like I'm down in the weeds. And so if I began to have this like picture in my mind, and it was like I was literally in a field, and like I was tiny. Did you ever see that movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? And they're like down, they're tiny, they're like smaller than a blade of grass, and they're like down in the dirt. That's kind of like what I feel like, is that I'm really, really tiny, and I'm rolling around in dirt, and everything else is just big. Everything else is just big. It's too big for me. It's too big for me to like navigate. And so I'm just rolling around in the dirt, and that's what I feel like, down in the dirt, just rolling around in all of these things. And what the Lord showed me, and the verse that he brought to mind is all, for those who love him, all things work together for good for those who love him. And I love him. So everything that I'm going through, God is working it together for good. That is a promise. And in all of these situations, I am trying to follow the Lord and do what he wants and obey him. And so that means he is working it together for good. And then this is what he began to show me, is that in that field, he said, I just needed a different perspective. And so he began to kind of zoom out, just get a higher perspective. Just get a higher perspective. And when I zoomed out, I got up above the dirt, got up above the weeds, and then I got up above the field, and what I could see was a field, and I don't know why it was this, but a field of lavender. And probably because I've seen it, it's lavender season and there's people going to lavender fields. Just rows and rows of beautiful purple flowers. That's what I saw. It's just beautiful, a beautiful field. And I couldn't see that when I was tiny and down in the dirt. And what he told me is that me down in the dirt is planting the seed. Toiling, tilling up the dirt, planting that seed. And if I just keep doing that and keep doing that, then I'm gonna get the harvest that I saw at the higher perspective. And that's what he's working. He sees the higher perspective. He knows what all of this down in the weeds is doing for good, and he knows how it works. My perspective in the moment might be down in the weeds and in the toil and in the seed planting and in the dirt, but he is working it together for good so that his higher perspective can see the field with the harvest. Okay? And so that's what I just have to remember. I mean, it's just remembering that yes, I might feel like I'm down in the weeds with my parenting and my health and my work and just all the things. And whatever your business, like whatever it is that you feel like you're down in the weeds with, he has the higher perspective. And the stuff that we are doing down in the weeds is going to result in a good harvest. I remember this too, if you want to think about it a little bit different way, and I thought about it yesterday because it was a cloudy day yesterday. So I haven't flown a lot in my life. I could probably count my two hands, the number of times I've flown. But I was so struck one time. We got up out of the clouds, and when you get up high enough, it's all blue sky and sun, like everywhere. But when you travel, you begin to see there are areas where it's just cloud cover. And I began to think, the people on that day under those clouds think that it's a cloudy gray day. They don't realize that it's a sunny day, they just can't see it. It's a sunny day every day. You just sometimes have some clouds in the way. And that it's just a matter of perspective. So if your perspective is high enough, you've got a sunny day going on. And I think about that yesterday as it was a cloudy day all day. I didn't see the sun once. And I thought about that trip that I had on the airplane. I'm like, it's a sunny day, I just can't see it right now. It's a sunny day, I just can't see it right now. Every day is a sunny day. And if you think about that spiritually and then what we're going through, God has that perspective of the sunny day, of the field with the harvest. He has that perspective. And if we just change our perspective and remember that God is working all things together for our good, and that what we are doing is going to produce a harvest when we're following him. I don't know, that just gave me some hope, and I think that changes your perspective and gives you a perspective of hope to say, hey, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. It is working together for good, and we can just relax. Say we don't have to figure everything out. Take it one day at a time. Quit, trying to forecast the end of it, and have a negative perspective on what the future might hold, because that's what I tend to do sometimes. And just think about today. Like, today, do I have enough to do what I need to do? And often the answer is yes. I can get through today. I can get through today, and God will help. And so, I don't know. Maybe today we just need a higher perspective. Maybe today we need to rise above the mud and the weeds and see the field of the harvest, or we might need to rise above the clouds and see that it's a sunny day, and that if we just wait some time, we'll see the sun We'll see the harvest. It just might take some time. It just might take some time. So I don't know, that encouraged me today, and I hope it encouraged you whatever way that you are in the mud. I have a friend, Jackie Watkins, who has a podcast called Mud Stories, and that's what she tries to encourage people that feel like they're in the mud, all kind of mud, whether it is any kind of thing that you're going through. So if you are in that situation, you need some more encouragement. She's not actively doing the podcast right now, but she has I think over 100 podcasts called Mud Stories, and she's so encouraging. Actually, she's one of the people that inspired me to start my podcast. I think she does an excellent job. So let me say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Stephanie and Darian. I said hello to Darian. Cynthia, your health journey is in his hands. Yes, I am believing that today. Carla, Tanisha, Molly. Tanisha, I was talking about your daughters earlier. I don't know if you caught that earlier. The girls had such a good time yesterday afternoon. They were like, I can't remember when I've had that much fun. So, did I say good morning to Molly? Good morning, Molly. Glad you guys are here. So yeah, let me know. I would love to hear, does that ring true for anybody? Does anybody need to hear that? Anybody else feel like they are in the weeds with something in this season? And if you feel like you're in a season where you're seeing some harvest, please give us some hope. Say, I've been there. I see the harvest now. I know what you're talking about. It's true. If you're in that kind of season, please testify. We need it for sure. Anyway, okay. What do we have? What did I already talked about tonight? I'm on total countdown again to next week for a vacation. Keep saying 3 more days of work. 3 more days of work. Then I get a week off. I can't wait. I haven't had a week off since Christmas. And does Christmas really count? Christmas is crazy season, so it's really busy then. Then before that, I haven't had a week off since last summer, so I'm ready. Ready. Anyway. All right, guys. I'm going to hop off here, get the day started. Hope your day is great. See you tomorrow. Bye.